Okay, in this episode I hope to start working on the introduction to the song. So, synth section. The first sound, if you remember, was kind of quite atmospheric and messed up, so I'd like to use that. But first of all, I'd like to work out which notes I was using in the endless sequencer so that I know what to work from in the intro. So okay, let's see. Okay, so one of them is an E. Okay, there we go. So then E, G, and B. Okay, good. So let's go back to the sound that we were working with. So that I'm going to be working on by hitting this. Initially I had worked on 132 BPM. I think that's a little bit too fast, so probably something like that I think works well. So back to this. I'm going to turn up the metronome because now I'm going to go into recording. This is the recording button. So tempo, metronome, all of these parameters are in this button, but then recording happens here, and that's the infamous 4-track tape recording section. Input level is here. So let's get started. Let me just practice. I'm not a super strong keyboard player, as you can see. Okay, so I'm gonna put that on track 1, I guess, the intro. That works for me. Okay, shift and this arrow, make sure that I'm right at the beginning there. And then I can just hit record and then just start playing, basically. Okay, so here we go. Okay, that's messed up. So I rewound, I lift to delete, basically. I could then drop it back down, but I don't want that. So I'm just going to delete that right at the beginning. So some of that's useful. I'm going to turn off the metronome right now. Back to the tape. rewind back to the beginning. There we go. Okay, so I think it was here that I started playing correctly in time, so I'm going to make a cut here. I'm going to lift that. I don't want it. Okay, so let's continue. I'm not satisfied. I could take that, lift it, and then move it back to the beginning, but I'm going to start again. Okay, that works for me. Let's turn the metronome off, down, back to tape. Awesome. I'll just snip that right there. Lift. And I'm pretty happy with that introduction. Then maybe we could move on to, maybe we could loop that a couple of times, twice. So down one, down two. Let's see what that sounds like. Stop, and then the back arrow allows me to just go directly back without having to scroll through. There we go. Okay, I'm happy with that. I think that's it for now. There's the intro. One note that I want, a couple of notes that I want to make. One, in the mixer section, which is this button here, when you start off the OP-1, these are the volume levels for each of the 4 tracks, and they're much higher. I prefer to have them at 50, and then, you know, then I can increase them if I need to. If you start mixing really loud, then you don't really have anywhere else to go, and you know, the louder you mix, the kind of crappier it's going to sound. So you want to start mixing low, just sufficient so that you hear what you need to hear, and then you can always go louder as you bring in more elements into the sound. The other thing that I wanted to note was with the drums. I was talking about the sequencers. You have the finger sequencer, which was the one with the patterns and the 2 drumming gorillas, but there's also a pattern sequencer, and here I have a pattern from a previous song that I did, so we'll just listen to it with the current drum set that I picked. There we go. And basically you can scroll through with this. Shift and the blue button allows you to erase everything, and basically you hit Shift. We're gonna add it. We could add a new step. So Shift and the arrow keys allow you to cycle through. So it's not like XOX style. It's more like I guess maybe the 303 where you had to go by step and enter the step. So you know, I could go to this step and then put in, there you go, that. So then so there you go. So you go in by step and then you put in the notes that the drum sounds that you want. So that's the other useful drum sequencer that you have that I wanted to mention. Thank you for watching.